Hockey Nation fans, welcome back for the late edition of Hockey Nation live show with Coach Frenchy and the Boot and Michael Devellano on the West Coast of California, somewhere, somehow, at 7:30 p.m. Tuesday night. With no hockey NHL tonight,
Nothing.
so it's going to be maybe American Cut Talent, something like that. I don't know, but that's how it's going on Tuesday night usually. Um, like we said, we back again for a special edition tonight. We have a couple update NHL happening since we did early morning or regular daily show, and we want to start with the news from the San Jose Sharks, the new head coach, where he's just honestly they have not a new coach. He was already there by interim, and honestly, know him as a hockey player before, as a defenseman for many years in NHL. And but we talk about Bob Boughner, Boughner from he has become the head coach from San Jose Sharks today. Bob was he did not coach for many years as a head coach. Honestly, it's the second.
In the NHL, you mean?
Yeah, in the NHL, he's only his second team. He's been with the Florida Panthers for 2 years, 2017 and 2018. He was the coach for Florida. He had a good year. Honestly, he had 44 win, 30 loss, and 96 points. Did not make the team, the playoff that year. And then the second year, have in the 82 game, the team regress of 10 points, 86 points. You have still have 30, 36 win that year. The team finished fifth. Then he got fired. That the year like between you have the manager. He came at a special occasion, right? Because he came with Gerald Gallen, um, and then Tom Rowe, and then after that, after Tom Rowe,
Oh, in
he came.
Florida.
He,
Yeah, that was a crazy time. And
yeah.
what was going on there? I mean, you had a very good coach in Gallant. Tom Rowe had no business being behind the bench.
Yep.
Uh, I think where Bob Boughner really though established himself was he won back-to-back Memorial Cups as the head coach of the Windsor Spitfires in the OHL. Um, I'm pretty familiar with that group as we coached against Taylor Hall for a long time at 91. And Taylor was the star player there. He also had Adam Henrique. So that's really where, winning back-to-back Memorial Cups is pretty rare.
Yeah.
So he definitely, got a bit of a reputation there, although I think that was, part him and part Reichel, obviously, as GM in that ownership group. Um, so he had kind of mixed results for the 3 or 4 years after that, if I recall. But then went to the NHL with Florida. So I think he's been around a while. He played a long time. He was kind of a role player in the NHL. Um, I'm not surprised they kept him. I'm surprised at a lot of the other moves of the last few years. I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what San Jose is. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little bit agree with you. Honestly, it's another team where, the situation on the West Coast. If you look from Anaheim, rebuild, right, and then change the coach. Then after that, you got LA Kings, and then now you have San Jose with a couple of fun thing happening for the last couple of years. Try to get a little bit younger, but still keep Joe Thornton around and everything like that. Um,
They got some
Honestly,
real old pieces, and then they got some. I don't know. They're just a weird situation. I mean, the other player I should mention that he coached when he won the back-to-back cups was Ryan Ellis.
yep.
I think Tommy Kuhnackel and Zach Cassidy were on that team. So he's coached a lot of guys that made it to the NHL. I'm trying to think there was one other that. Oh, he had Jack Campbell as his goalie.
True. You have 37 game with San Jose. One they they fire a Pete to bar, and then 37 game. You have 14 wins, 20 loss, 3 OL, for 31 points for an average of only 419. Um, like I said, San Jose is in transition right now. I think they have to figure out something else. I'm not sure. Still, he's a young coach, head coach at NHL. Have only
It's
three
like
years.
49 or something, or I
Yeah,
think it's like
419.
49. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll see what happening there. That's the big news for the NHL. They have a lot of rumor, a lot
Like
of transition.
Coach
Um,
Cam, before I forget, I was just looking at the list, and he also coached Cam Fowler, who was also a top 91 defenseman. Richard Panik was on that team. And he
yeah,
also there's one other guy I was thinking of. James Woodcroft, but that's a different Woodcroft. But he played in Milton. So Grubauer. So Grubauer was another one of the goalies there. And then a guy that I tried to get for a long time, Troy Passingham.
and then if we're starting to go around the league, um, of course, Toronto, Montreal was going to talk about rumor because Toronto is about like 2,000 reporter over there and talking about everything possible. They want to trade everybody in the bench and behind the bench, on the bench, and on the ice, everybody. But now there's the big conversation over there. It's all about Alex Pietrangelo and the rumor of Darren Dreger of TSN 1050 mentioned they are maybe willing to trade William Nylanders, Carlo Koliakovo, mentioned Andreas Owen Johnson and Alex Kerfoot. It's not much what we said a couple
Well,
of
that's what I
weeks
was
ago.
saying. Like you could totally move those salaries out and it'd be worth it, right? Because like they've got Rasmus Dahlin coming up. That you probably still get to sign Dermott in that scenario. Hall's cheap. And then you've got, Lilligren, who could be kind of a 5-6. I mean, he would chew up so much ice. He would be the missing piece in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
But do we have the depth on forward after that is a question.
yeah. So I think at that moment, I think Pietrangelo could go a little bit lower on salary demanding if he
He would
could
do that
go
for
for Toronto.
why not? It's his buddies. He wants to leave a legacy. Maybe in 2 years he can win a cup. Maybe he gets a 2-year contract. You don't know. Like, or maybe they go all in. They give him 9 mil. I mean, they could figure it out. I just don't know if they have enough depth after that. You have to kind of think through it because they've lost Kapanen. They're gonna, in that scenario, you're saying they lose Nylander. Love him or hate him, the guy had 31 goals, right? So maybe they just get, pieces that like would they trade those players to get Pietrangelo and then sign him? Is that what you're saying? Like a sign and trade?
Yeah. You know what? You're talking right now in my head is starting to spinning and thinking about something, and I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Could you trade William Nylanders, Morgan Riley, and Frederick Anderson?
I would not do that. I would not trade Morgan Riley ever. I think his contract is cheap and he's like a top 10 defenseman. I don't see why you would ever do that.
What is
If
the
it's
contract of Riley?
like 6 million.
That's it.
Yeah, it's peanuts. I think the move is you dump Nylander because his cap hits 6'8" or something. He scored 31 goals. He can produce offensively. He's only 23. He can skate like the wind. But you could probably get some pieces back. They have Mikheyev who looks very good. He could be a third line center or he could be a second line center. Like if you have Matthews and Tavares 1-2 and then that guy, you're pretty set down the middle if he's healthy. Engvall looks decent. Like he could be a third line guy that could flex up. Johansson, I don't know what happened. Is he hurt this year?
Yeah.
Because to me, he's a 20 goal scorer.
He's really good. I think he's really good player. He just did not have a chance to produce at the
Yeah.
level he's supposed to produce.
Yeah. And then, the other guy you've got there is you've got Hyman. So people forget about Hyman. Hyman is like an engine, man. Like another 92 born player, played for the Toronto Junior Red Wings. Mike Galati, who runs the Markham, well, they're not Markham anymore. Yeah, they're Markham. Markham Royals. I think they're called the OJ team.
Two
He
years
had coached
ago, he have 20 goals.
Who, Hyman?
No, Hansen.
Well, the year before he did.
Yeah,
And he,
Andres Johnson have 20 goals the year before. Last year,
yeah,
he still had 21 point and 43 games.
he was
He
just
got
hurt.
hurt,
That's why I'm
but
saying he's a good player. And
I think he's a really good player. No,
I
um,
would keep him. I thought it was a mistake moving Kapanen. Like to me, those two guys are both 20 goal guys. So if you can get them for 3 million, like where do you get a 20 goal guy for 3 million?
he's only on the cap hit. He's only
Two point
um,
something.
yeah. I don't know why they don't give it to me. I have only 27, 28.
So I've kind of said this all along, but I think if you look at the D and you had Riley on the left side, you got Muzzin,
3.4.
you got Dermott, you've got and then you had Pietrangelo to that. You got you got Sandine, you got Lilligren, and you got Hall. I mean, that's a great D.
Yep.
You know,
Of
the
course.
problem
If you know what I mean, like
is Marincin might come back.
losing Tyson Barry and Sissy, and then you add Pietrangelo, you already
You're
add
there.
value to the team for
Oh,
sure.
totally.
Riley, you're right. He's only at $5 million, by the way.
Yeah, that's cheap, man.
Yep.
That guy is like an $8 million defense.
Yep. Um, so, I think Tubas, the rumor today was about Pietrangelo, and also Kyle Tuba trade his first pick all the time so far.
Carl Dubas?
Yeah. He traded last year his first pick.
Does he
Uh,
have two picks or one? Because they acquired the pick from the Minnesota pick from Pittsburgh, right?
yeah. Now he got the 15 because he just traded Kapanen.
Yeah,
Kapanen.
that's what I'm saying. It was Minnesota's pick, but it came from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Because that came in the Jason Zucker trade. And then but then he traded his own first pick.
Yes.
I don't remember what deal that was, but um, I don't think they care about that pick,
At 15, I don't think so.
which is crazy to me. Like, just take a player. Um, I feel like they're emptying the cupboard right now. I mean, we're forgetting Nick Robertson.
Nick Robertson. Yeah.
So he gives them a lot of options. Like he looked great, I thought in the playoffs. He'll be at least a 20 goal scorer.
Yes.
So
I think
you
that's something you have to look about that one over there. But they have the day today was tonight. It was all about direction with Pietrangelo, and then they have a couple of teams pushing to get because now he's really leaving more and more St. Louis. Honestly,
totally.
um, so that the
What's the date? Is it October 8th or 6th? Is that
9.
when 9th is free agency?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I really think that they would be the front runner just because based upon he's another 1990 birth year. The best 1990s were like Stamkos, Pietrangelo, and Tavares, and they all know each other. All those guys are buddies, and every single one of them. I mean, Stamkos. If Tampa ever moves Stamkos, his first choice would be Toronto.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I can see him. He can fit anywhere, and you make
Yep.
room for that guy.
Moving from Toronto, we're going to go to Pittsburgh, where 17 are calling Pittsburgh Penguins about the forward Brian Rust. Um, it's a many team looking for him. Rust he has a 2-year left contract at $3.5 million. I would be surprised if
They're
Pittsburgh
not
let him
moving him.
go.
It was a point a game,
Um,
wasn't it?
One player is available right now, from what they heard, is Patrick Ornvis.
Well, okay, so let's look at Rust. The guy had 27 goals in 55 games at 3 million. Yeah, keep him. And he's gone up every year he's been there. He went 15, 13, 18, 27 goals. He fits in really well, and he's got edge, man. He's like a nasty guy.
Yep.
He's
He,
I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think so too. I agree with you. I think they will trade before Patrick Orvis about that one over there. One
Yeah.
thing they are really looking for is to add the UFA defenseman Chris Tanev. Um,
In Pittsburgh?
yeah, they are looking for him, but he cannot over $5 million. They don't want to give him more $5 million. That's what
Are they
They
going to
are
sign
not
Schultz?
sure. They are going to keep Malkin. Honestly, he's going to be. They want to give him a contract extension soon they can, so they can retire as the Penguins,
Oh,
and
Malcolm?
then
Yeah, he'd never let that guy go.
I don't think so. And
No
then
way. I
Tristan
love Malcolm.
Jarry, next deal could be a 2 years bridge deal or a 4 years deal contract somewhere around $4 million range. Remember, I think he's
He's
going to
very
be the
good.
number one goalie. And I think you said to me they have another goalie. I'm not remember his name.
Casey, yeah, Casey,
This is not the
God,
Smith, no.
the Smith.
So they have like, so that's the trade they can look about this. Now, can they make a big trade with Matt Murray and Patrick or this? That could happen, honestly. But I think it's a team. One team's going to move a lot. I believe it's Pittsburgh. Um, they
Oh yeah,
have, I
Jim
think,
Rutherford's not gonna sit pat.
yep. So I think they're going to move a lot of that one over there. I want to talk about something we talk about the buyer out recently.
Buyouts, yeah.
I think we talked about this 2 days ago, and but I want to explain to you a little bit more because there are some stuff we did not mention about when you buy out someone, it's not the full contract.
75%.
So they have a fun thing. I will give you an example. Ericsson, Louis Ericsson, for Marius and Vancouver. He signed a contract of 4 years, 6.6, 3.6. Now then you have two remaining, and it's 666,000, 666,000. Why? Because you got a bonus contract couple of months ago. I think it was July 4th.
Are you saying that's the buyout hit? Because
So
he's a cap hit of 6 million.
so he got a contract of a 3 million bonus signing bonus. So that diminished is the end of the 2 years. So if they will buy him out right now, they will save only on the salary cap $300,000,
Right.
33,000 K.
Yeah, it's the way it's structured. It screws them.
Yes. So that's something like that. Compared to, I give you an example, Jimmy Neal, he will right now, he has 3 years remaining. And if you buy out him right now, it was $3.8 million.
Jimmy who?
Jimmy Neal for the
Oh,
owners.
James Neal. I wouldn't move him.
So on the Milo Lucic, right? He have a 5 million contract. He just signed a bonus at
That
the
contract
July.
is friggin' terrible.
Is now you sign him out only 590,000.
It's like what? It's stupid.
So
So
sometimes you have to be
you can't buy
careful.
out Erickson. You have to trade him and
You know what I
retain
mean?
Salah.
Like Justin Abdelkader from the Detroit, if
Yeah.
you sign up right now, is only $2.44 million.
You're saying the buyout cost?
Yes,
So the buyout cost total for him is 6.3.
yes, but if you buy out, you still have 2.9, 2.44.
No, you save 2.4.
You
His
save
cap hit is 1.8.
2.44, but you still pay every year for the next 3 years
That's fine.
1.8, 2.3, and then 3,000, then
No, so okay, so his cap hit drops from 425
yep,
to 1.8. So
yes,
you're saving 2.4, you're saying.
yes,
Which to me, the guy has 0 goals. You take that back and you buy him out because what you're buying him out is 75% of the contract.
the
So
con-
the actual cash value of it is like it's only you're saving 25%.
yes,
And then
like
the hit is big too. Like you save 60% on the hit, the cap
y-
hit.
the reason why is because they get a signing bonus. Like Steven um, Stanko's, you on the salary cap buyout is only $600,000.
The savings, you mean?
Yes, because he got a signing bonus of
Which you
eight
would
point
never
five
buy
million
out.
dollars. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
it's
nobody's buying him
something,
out.
you know what I mean? So I expect now less players going to be buy out versus what we thought about
No,
this.
I don't think I think there are definitely issues with some players like Louis Eriksson, Milan Lucic, James Neal. I don't see being bought out. I wouldn't move Neal anyway. I think Eriksson, that's a problem,
Yeah.
right? Like that contract's a problem no matter what. Do they trade him but and eat some of the salary, and then they do a swap of something that zeroes out for the other team? That's probably what happens.
Yes.
It's going to be a complicated transaction. It's a terrible contract.
So that's what happens. Sometimes they cannot buy out what you do.
But
Remember
Detroit,
the
I'm telling you, you buy out Abdelkader and Nielsen, you get that off the books. You get it off.
but the
Like,
point, like they don't trade like that, like a buyout. What you do, they trade a big salary with a young rookie players
right.
when you have a future.
Or they take a problem back.
Yes. So
I,
Montreal did with Steve Mason and Joel Armia a couple of years ago.
right.
And he gave a second round pick, if I remember, or something like that. So that's what happened a lot of time on the buyout now compared was before. Remember, like they signed a contract a couple of years ago, they can buy two players on 2 years or 3 years gap. There
Yeah.
was a full buyout at that moment because it was a negotiation between the NHLPA and the NHL. But now the buyout is very different. Talking about buyout, I want to finish the show today about tonight. Um, why they want to play 82 games?
Yeah. And just one final thing on Nielsen with Detroit. I don't know if you've looked at that contract. It has a cap hit of 5.25. So it's very high. There's a signing bonus built in, like you've described, but it's almost the reverse benefit. It only cost them 2.67 to buy it out. They they have a cap hit though of 9.2 over 4 years. So I think you do it because the guy's not contributing anything.
They have a trade. He has a trade clause for the team. He have a 10
Just,
list team, or he have
just
not
buy him
not.
out. Like nobody's gonna want that guy.
Yeah.
Not at that price, unless you're retaining salary, which you can only retain 40%, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna, I think it only costs you 2.6 to buy the guy out. The problem is it's 3.4 and 4.4 in cap hit this year and next year, which only saves you like a 1.8 and 830. But I think you do it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just like you got to make room for those young guys. You've got Rasmussen, Devellano. The only thing I can see them doing though is riding it out one more year because of the expansion draft, where they bury Veleno, they bury Rasmussen. I don't think they can bury Svechnikov anymore. I think they got to play that guy, and he's capable of playing if you let him play. I don't know what they do with Hirose, but I don't know. They've got a lot of shitty contracts.
Yeah. On the flip side, talking about Detroit, we want just to give update about Philip Zadina. Honestly, I think it was a finger problem, if I can
Yeah,
recall
two
it.
weeks, two
And I
weeks.
think it's a 2 or 3 weeks, so it was not a major, like maybe a knee
Had me
or
panicked there for a
you know what I
second.
mean? So it's just a couple of weeks. So it's just not major. So we want to be sure, we talked about it this morning with not much explanation, but now we got the news from,
Yeah, I feel better about it.
yeah, so that's good news from Detroit, honestly. I want to finish the show for we have about 5 minutes about the NHL, why they want to play 82 games, and you're going maybe bring your impression, talking more about what you think about this. But one of the reason is 2021, 2020, 2021 is the last season of the 10-year contract between NBC deal and NHL. They at that time there was a contract of $200 million per season. Um, so they know already the NHL, the NHLPA, they understand they're going to lose money for the next couple of years because the situation with nobody in the fence and the stand. And also that's the reason why they cannot go on the salary cap to go nowhere. And the salary cap, to be honest with you, it's not going to be only for 1 year. Expect for maybe 3 to 5 years. They cannot go higher anymore because the situation losing money. Now, why is it so important, the contract NBC deal? Is because they cannot let it go, right? Because also at the same time they have a $200 million, they have also a contract with Rogers for $300 million to five
Well,
hundred million dollars. So we talk about almost like $1 billion losing money if you don't play 82 games.
Right. This is kind of what I was saying to you before. Like, you know, they first of all decided to play the playoffs in the bubble because they got a bill for 180 million that they wanted the NHL to cut a check back to the NBC network for. So that's the first thing. So they said, listen, we got to recoup this, and they made it an incentive for the players to do that. To your point, the NBC contract's been the best contract they've ever had, next to what goes on in Canada. Rogers won that contract. At the time, people thought they were nuts for what they bought, but Rogers also owns 35% of the Leafs. So they have all the local broadcasts split with Bell between TSN and Sportsnet in Canada, which, you know, you got two basically, you can call them sports networks in Canada, but they're fucking networks. So I don't think that the Rogers contract goes away. However, to your point, that is gold in Canada. That is the number one programming in Canada. There's nothing else that draws like hockey. So it is the number one programming, and that's the consideration for there because it outdraws the fact that they only have 7 or 8 teams.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's an outsized agreement. In the States, here's the problem. If you look at the bottom third of teams and their revenue, the TV revenue is equal to or greater than their gate revenue. So if you're going to lose, you know, even though you're going to lose fans, let's say you can only play 25 or 50% capacity or nothing, I think they're going to play in front of some fans. So that TV contract, on average, I think counts for like 40 or 50% of some of the revenue. You get teams like Montreal, Toronto, Rangers, Boston, and they have major revenue. Like they're way above the $81 million salary cap by like a significant amount, like double or more. But the other teams are right around 100, 120. And if you take out that 40 or $50 million of TV, they're losing money.
So the point to you is like average they expect but between $35 million to $50 million losing revenues per year.
Yep.
So with a contract with the 500 to $7.5 million per year, that would cover about 20 to $35 million back to the each team
I think it's more than that.
where they will
Yeah.
close to what they lose. So they really important for them to get a contract with NBC to get more. Now I want to compare this one. The game between New York Islanders versus Philadelphia, game number 7. 2.96 million people, viewer, watched the game. It was the most watched game NHL game in the US since 5 years ago.
Wow.
Compare the game number 7, Vegas and Vancouver. 0.829 thousand people versus watch viewer in USA. So you have almost like 2 million people did not watch the game because 2 reasons. One is the market hockey is not great in Vegas. The
Right.
second thing it was because the team was from Canada. So when you have great team like Islanders, Philadelphia, Boston, Detroit, you know what I mean? Like the market hockey
Oh,
is great.
totally.
And you go to bring 2.6 million. Now, the contract on NBC is $200 million. Do you
Right.
want to know what's the contract with the MLB?
With the Major League Baseball,
Yeah,
the contract between who?
with the TV for MLB with Fox, CBS, and ESPN.
It's about 5 times that, isn't
$15 billion.
it? 15 billion?
Yeah.
What?
Do you want the
A year? No.
do you want the contract for NBA?
Are
One
you're telling
point
me it's
five billion
15
dollars.
billion a year for baseball?
Yeah, it's $1.5 billion per year.
Oh, 1.5.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
right.
That makes more sense.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying. It's like 5 times.
yeah, yeah.
So it's more than that. It's like 7 times.
NBA by ESPN and TNT. How much you believe?
Okay, so there's about 60 million. There's like 30 million fans for NHL. There's about 60 million. So it should be about half a bill.
So NBA is $2.66 billion per year.
That's so weird because it's interesting because they play the same schedule as the NHL. If you look at the number of fans in North America, it goes NFL football is about 130 million fans. Baseball is, they think 75 to 80 million, but it keeps dropping. It was 90, it keeps dropping. So the baseball's on the decline.
Yep.
Basketball's right around 60 million and hockey's like 32 million. So it's interesting that, you know, basketball is basically double, but the contract is like 10 times.
Yes.
I wonder what that's all about.
NFL with CBS, Fox, NBC, ESPN.
That's like the richest
Yes.
thing in sports. Like that's
4.5
probably
billion.
how much?
4.5.
I'm actually surprised it's that low, but I guess they only play 18 games, right?
Yes.
So that's pretty damn good. I mean,
Yes. It's double, it's double
it's
of
huge.
the NBA. Now we check about this. The Emmys rewards dropped down of 12% in USA um, year ago.
What was that?
Viewer at the
Yeah.
Emmys,
Oh, the
Emmys, you
TV
want to do
Emmys.
the
Yeah.
show, you have
Yeah.
12%, they don't watch. So what's going on now is the cable new way up. People do not watch sports right now, the casual fans lightly because, uh, because the situation with COVID, with no fans. So the cable news is not the same way it was before watching games. You have two other plays to watching because you have network, you have the MLB, you have the NBA, they have the private um, location to watch game. Make sense?
Yep.
So that's what it's from now. So it's really important for NBC make a deal. That's what the reason what Batman tried to push is to get an 82 season game, and they are really targeting ESPN to go back on the map. Where I don't think so. I think if they can sign up NBC again for $2 or $3 million, that would be great, and they keep Roger between 350 to 500. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But
That'll
that's the
happen.
reason behind the behind everything we want to mention to you guys tonight, Hockey Nation fans, is to the reason why they want to play 82 games.
Yeah. It's got, it's kind of 50-50 gate and TV in a lot of ways. Plus the look. I mean, if you look at Toronto, Montreal, even the Rangers, those local TV contracts on top of the national, like, are they get as much money from the local as they do from the national?
Of course, you're absolutely
And
right about
Chicago
that.
might get more because
Yeah,
Chicago has a lot of blackouts.
right. Montreal now have two competition between TVA and RDS, so they get like the fight. One have the playoff and one have the season. One watch
Totally.
Monday to Friday. It's another channel. The Friday, Saturday, Monday, it's another channel. But you're absolutely right. You want a big market get this, and that's happening also in NCAA. That's happening in NFL. Every time that.
You might see a bidding war in Canada because if that contract's up, Bell might try to outbid Rogers on this contract. I
There'll
mean,
be now.
like that would not surprise me.
Now there will be another way to see that, and I think that's not affect NHL. Is whatever the Canadian team become it one division. NBC is not going to be affected because not many people from USA watching Toronto, Montreal.
Do you think that's what's going to happen?
When I really believe me because the situation COVID again for another 4, 5, 6 months, they will not put everybody. I think the U League, WHL, I don't expect. I think you have a one division American.
We don't know what's going on, but we think so. That's kind of we're talking. I've heard talk. I shouldn't say we're talking. I've heard. I've heard of a U.S. Cup, which sucks because if this doesn't, if there's not clarity from the government, that's the problem. Then we might not have a Memorial Cup. We're a team that legitimately had a shot, I think, last year and this coming year at a Memorial Cup, and that'll be out the window. But
So we'll see what happening. Thanks again, Mike, to be here tonight. Hockey Nation fan. Well, thanks again for watching us. Do we this every night? No. But when we have some things going on, we hear about different things. We try to bring a couple of things, and then we want to let you know we're going to bring our draft pick the next couple of days to look about all the 31 pick first round. I can't wait to have Michael talking about the pick of the Los Angeles Kings between the pick number 2, right?
Yep, their second pick. I think it's a toss up for me who they pick, but
But we'll see what happening in the next couple of days. We're going to talk about this. So thanks again to watching us, listening to us. We wish you a great night. We will see you tomorrow, 11 Eastern Time. Same
thanks.
place, same channel. And have a great night, Michael. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.